the old internet. Something that nostalgia lovers will enjoy is how do you view the internet how it used to be back in the past? And of course, you can go to the Internet Archive, you can go and use the Wayback Machine, you can type in a link like I have here, appa.com, and you can select through all the years. And let's say, for example, we want September, let's say the 25th, and I click here and I click time or snapshot and I click on that link. Here we have the Apple website as how it looks at that time, right? Let's say we want to rather see what it looks like in October of 2001, right? It looks something like this. Now, this is all great, and you can go to a different website, and let's say msn.com, and you can click even in 2001, click a snapshot at the time, and it should hopefully, yeah, there we go, it opens up. But what if you want to do this, but you don't want to go and type in multiple websites, or maybe you have an old PC, maybe you have an old Linux distro or an old Windows machine, and you want to see, have the complete experience connected to the internet, but have the internet from its era. Because obviously, especially with those older web browsers, what do you do? Well, using good old Linux, it's quite possible. So Wayback Machine has an API associated with it, and that allows one to do some incredible things. And thanks to Richard G867 on GitHub, they have, of course, made the Wayback Proxy. And what Wayback Proxy does, right, it retrieves the web pages also from the Wayback Machine, right, or OOCities, and basically what it does, it displays them back as it was. So essentially, by doing that, you're setting up your own little time machine. And to do this, you can create a Docker container. There's a couple of ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you the Docker container way of doing it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use CusOS, and we're going to launch the Docker container. If you have Docker already on your machine and you were to just run this command, right, it will automatically pull down the Docker image, and it would configure the web page date with the date that's here, and it would use it on this port. But since we've already explored CusOS, I'm going to show you how to do it with CusOS to get this up and running. So I'm just going to copy this link. And I'm going to go to my CusOS install. I'm going to go plus, install a customized app, and import Docker CLI. And I'm going to paste this link. Okay, exactly the same. I'm going to say submit. Right, now it just needs 1 or 2 bits of info, so it needs a name, so Wayback Proxy. Okay, we don't have to do anything else right here. And we're going to just say install. And let it pull down this information and install it. And once that's done, it's essentially a local proxy on our machine. And what we're going to do is we're going to configure a web browser to pass all of its traffic through the proxy. First time you pull this down, it's going to take a bit of time. Okay, so our Wayback Proxy is up and running now, and there's nothing for us to click on there. Remember, very important, the port that it uses is 8888, and of course the IP of our machine that we've installed this on. Very important information. So what you would do is go to your old machine, open up the web browser and configure it, and let's do something like that. So, okay, so in my case, I'm using a web browser called Pale Moon, and I'm going to the preferences, and essentially what I'm doing is under security, right, or under advanced rather, I'm going to connection, settings, and I'm going to choose a proxy, and I'm going to put in a proxy address 192.68.68, right, that's the address of our server, or a CusOS server that we installed the proxy on. And of course that port 8888, we're going to say okay. And now if I go google.com and give it a couple of seconds, you'll see it showing us google.com as it looked in 2001. Right, let's say go to another address like bbc.co.uk. Right, and magically it's taking us to these websites without us having to go and click around on other things. I mean, I can even go, for example, to entertainment, and these links will work as long as it's all been cached or saved in Wayback Machine or an archive. Right, if it hasn't been saved, of course, it's not going to work. So, I mean, I can open up another website and I can go to something like Tucows.com, which was a very old, famous download site at the time. Right, pretty old, even Linux Weekly News. It's been around for ages. Not everything will work, unfortunately. LinuxWin.net. As you can see, back then it was part of a division of Tucows. You can even check Linux in the news. Right, and these pages were cached at the time. So, and if they weren't cached, it's not going to be able to show you anything. Like if we go to ZNet, the story was actually cached at the time, ironically. So just click on the link. And it will take us back to ZNet's main page. Right, it's Windows XP right for your business. Let's say I go to Microsoft.com and I'll open up .com in this link. Let's even have CNN.com. Right. Apple.com's talking about the iPod. Microsoft's website is all about Windows XP. ZNet. We can even go to old sites like old web browsers like Lycos.com. Right, and of course you can see these all existed, but they are from a certain period in time, all 2001. So much so that even if I do something like youtube.com, never existed. It even tells you, right, for where it's gone now, it just can't find it. There's no snapshot available, right? So how do we change the date? Let's say we want to move forward a decade. So we seeing how the internet was in 2001, we want to see the internet and how it was in 2011. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to take us back to Casa OS. Here's the Wayback Proxy. I'm going to just choose settings, right? And you see under environment variables, there's a date here. So I'm going to just make that, change that to 2011. I can even make it, change this to the 30th. Right, and all I'm going to do is click save. And it's now just quickly reconfiguring the Wayback Proxy. So it's going to take a few moments. And essentially what it's doing is it's telling it, hey, I want now web pages from the new era. And it has about 365 days forward it will look at if it doesn't have anything at that specific date. So we've done that. It's open. It seems to be working fine. So we're going to go back to our other browser. And I don't need to do anything else. All I'm going to do is refresh. So let's start with apple.com. I hit refresh. Give it a couple of seconds, of course. And look there. This is in 2011, Apple's website. Right, we can do the others, BBC Online, ZNet, Microsoft. Right, and like magic, we've now moved forward a decade. Right, and it's going to be a little bit slow, but here we go. This was Microsoft's website in 2011. Now talking about Windows 7 themes. BBC's website, CNN. We can just refresh that. I don't even know if Lycos was still around in 2011. We'll see. Remember, this isn't going to pull down other assets, so download files and stuff probably is not going to work. And yeah, as more websites, of course, have gone to HTTPS. This isn't going to work for that, so the scene website might not work properly. And of course, this was the Lycos website since 10 years ago. And here is the CNN website. So there we go. So folks, of course, if you want to change it, you can just play around with the data and rebuild it. And if you have another machine somewhere, you can just leave those proxy settings in there, and you can have a time period appropriate machine with the internet. Folks, as always, leave your comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.